Welcome back to NBA Playoff Watch, and today we got episode 9 where we're going to be taking a look at every team. We're into the All-Star break now, so we're going to have a few days off, so I felt this is a perfect time to take a look around the league and give our thoughts as well as put the standings into a playoff bracket at the end right now and predict our NBA champion. That's kind of what we do every episode. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in to the Eastern Conference standings, and starting out at the top, it's going to be the Cavs, still 44-10. I mean, the Cavs are just having a historic offensive season. Nobody expected this coming into the year. I thought they'd probably be, 4, 5, 6 range. They're the one seed in the East. They've been the one seed in the East. The Celtics are closing the gap a little bit. They're only 5.5 games back, so it could switch there. But I mean, at this point, I would expect the Cavs to finish as the one seed in the East just because of the way they're playing. They're playing amazing. I believe they have the second highest best point differential in the league. So, definitely very something to look at there. Only behind the Thunder, but yeah, I mean them and the Thunder are only ones plus 10 or more. So the Cavs, yeah, they're doing their thing. They're playing amazing. The Celtics as well. I mean, we knew this. The defending champ, 39-16. Tatum and Jaylen Brown, both the All-Stars. By the way, I think Cavs got 3 All-Stars. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, if I'm not mistaken. I think Evan Mobley made the All-Star team. Maybe I'm making that up, but I'm pretty sure Mobley did make it. Shout out to the Cavs, man. But anyways, Celtics. They're still going to be a contender. We know this. I mean, they won it all last year. No surprise here. They're still very much a contender. They could very easily win it all. The Knicks, 36-18. They're actually they start off a little bit slow, but they have figured it out. They're 36-18. This offense looks ridiculous. I saw Stephen A. say that they don't really have like an identity. I mean, I don't know. I mean, last year they were very defensive oriented. This year it seems like they're leaning more towards offense, but I still think they have the pieces to be a great defense. I mean, it's definitely not as good as it was last year. Because bringing Cat in, losing Hartenstein, losing Julius Randle, losing Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, they lost some guys. So, but yeah, the offense looks really good for the Knicks. They're averaging 118 as a team right now. Let's see. The Pacers also started off a little bit slow, but they've found their stride recently. Siakam's an all-star. They're 30-23, 6-4 in their last 10, but they've definitely been better as of late than as they started. Halliburton, we say this every time. He's still kind of a down year from last year. 18 points a game, 8.5 assists. That's not what he was doing last year. He was like 24 and 12. Something like that. But Benedict Matherin's been really good. Miles Turner as well. This Pacers team's very good. They got a lot of guys. They play fast. Again, not as fast as last year, but still, it's a really good Pacers team. They're the 4 seed. The 5 seed Bucks. I could see the Bucks finishing anywhere from the 4 seed to the 6 seed. I think they're probably finishing this range. Giannis and Dame have been amazing. They traded away Middleton. I don't think we talked about that last episode. They traded away Middleton to the Wizards, bringing Kyle Kuzma. Still not sure how I feel about that yet. And Kyle Kuzma's played 4 games for the Bucks. He's averaging 16 in those 4 games. So we'll see. I'd like to see a little bit more. But Middleton has been hurt, so I guess maybe this helps them just because they get a guy in the lineup. But yeah, Giannis 32 points a game, 12 rebounds. Dame 26 and 7.5. This team, those two are good enough to win you multiple playoff series. We know this. The Pistons, what a turnaround from last year. They've already passed their win total from last season, and we're at the All-Star break. The Pistons have been amazing. Cade Cunningham's an All-Star. Losing Jaden Ivey for the year, that's definitely a tough loss. He was playing so good. But Malik Beasley shooting the ball very well. We knew this when they signed him. He's a great 3-point shooter, one of the best in the league. He doesn't get talked about a lot. He's very good. But yeah, Cade Cunningham has been amazing. Jalen Duren averaging 11 and 10. He's been really good for them as well at center there. I really like this Pistons team. They're young, they're fun. Good for the Pistons. They're at the 6th seed. The 17 Magic, they have been dealing with some injuries this season. You know, Franz Wagner's been out for a while. Paolo's only played 22 games. Jalen Suggs been out. I think he is still out. Um, Mo Wagner's well. I mean, all those guys have barely played 30 plus games, and we're, what, 50, 56 games into the season for the Magic? So, that's definitely hurts, but they're still only a couple games out of, the 6 seed. They could definitely get back to that just because how good their defense is. I wouldn't be shocked if they did, finish as like the 6 seed. There was a point in this season where I was saying, don't be surprised if the Magic finish as the 2 seed. That was a little ridiculous for me. I was feeling the Magic at the start of the season. That was before their injuries, but yeah, I don't think they'll get that high anymore. But I could definitely see as high as maybe even like a 4 seed if they really get going. But probably more towards that 5, 6, 7 kind of area. The Hawks, Trae Young snubbed for All Star. I don't know how that happens. He's averaging 24 and 12. Crazy stuff. Who's out for the year? Is it? I think it's DeAndre Hunter out for the year. Or no, they traded DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs. That's right. Jalen Johnson is out for the year. By the way, I love that move for the Cavs. Um, but yeah, DeAndre Hunter now with the Cavs. That's actually a really good trade for the Cavs. I don't believe we touched on that last episode. But yeah, Jalen Johnson out for the year. He was probably going to win Most Improved Player. Now it's since he's out for the year, it's I don't know who's going to win it. But yeah, DeAndre Hunter was probably going to win Sixth Man of the Year. He probably still will, unless he's starting on the Cavs, which I'm not actually sure if he is. But yeah, now it's pretty much just Trae Young. They bring in Karis LeVert. Dyson Daniels has been pretty solid. Uh, Zachary Risasher, I think that's how you say his name. He's averaging 11 points a game. I really haven't heard a lot about him. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Um, yeah, so I wouldn't expect the Hawks to get any higher than this, to be honest. I think 8, 9, and 10 are all going to kind of stay where they're at. The Heat are probably going to move down as well. By the way, that should say 25 and 28. Whatever. You know where the Heat are. They're the 9 seed. The Heat. I mean, they trade away Jimmy Butler. They kind of had to. Tyler Hero's been really good. He's averaging 24. Bam Adebayo's been pretty solid as well. But they were really left with no choice. They traded Jimmy Butler to the Warriors. The Heat probably will finish around this range, if I had to guess. The Bulls, 11 games under 500. This is my team. I went to a Bulls game actually last Saturday when they played the Warriors. They were up 22 points, and they ended up losing by like 20, I think. So, but yeah, Zach LaVine no longer on the team. I'm surprised they kept Vucevic. I don't love that. I wish they'd traded him, but now it's really just Kobe White season. He's been really good this year, 18 points per game. He's actually turned his career around because I was getting worried. Last year he really just took a step up, and now he's playing really good. So shout out to Kobe White. That's really all the Bulls got going for them. Modest Buzelis, by the way, has actually been very good as of late. I'm very interested to see how he will develop. Hopefully they don't screw him up like they did with like I not Io. I was great. Like they did with Patrick Williams. Which he's not bad, but fourth pick in the draft, you'd want him to be a little bit better. The Sixers, 20 and 34. By the way, what's going on with Paul George? I mean, what is going on? The other game the game the other day where he had 2 points in like 36 minutes. What are we doing? Quentin Grimes had 30 plus. I think somebody else had 30 plus as well. Now I know, the Sixers. Embiid's only played 17 games. Paul George has only played 35. Maxi's only played 46. I know they've played 54, but he missed a good amount of time. Jared McCain has only played 23 games. He was amazing before he got injured. He was probably going to win Rookie of the Year. Kelly Oubre is really the only guy who's been healthy for them that's really of any significance. Everybody else has been in and out of this lineup. Um, you know, if I mean, it's not even win. It's if the Sixers can get healthy, they'll probably get in the play-in, and it could be a dangerous team because I don't think the Bulls are really. I mean, the Bulls are fully healthy, and they're 1.5 games ahead of the Sixers, who are completely riddled with injuries. So maybe if the Sixers get in, they could get to like the 8 seed. I mean, I could see them if they're healthy. They could beat the Heat. They could beat the Hawks for sure. The Nets at 20 and 34, they're actually been playing pretty solid as of recently. I think they've won 3 in a row, 6 and 4 in their last 10. If you're a Nets fan, you probably don't want that. You probably want them to lose. So I guess that's not great. Cam Thomas, I actually didn't realize this. He's only played 19 games this year. Um, so that's definitely unfortunate. Yeah, the Nets, they're trying to lose though. I mean, but they're winning. So I mean, yeah. Right now they're a 12 seed. I don't expect them to make a play-in push. Although they're only 1.5 games out right now. The Raptors. They bring in Brandon Ingram. I'm not sure about that. Um, he hasn't played yet in the Raptors uniform. Scotty Barnes is averaging 20 points a game. RJ Barrett's averaging 22. I did not realize that. He's averaging 22, 7 and 6. I rounded up a little bit, but man, that's actually pretty good. But yeah, the Raptors just not getting any success. They're 17 and 38. It's unfortunate because they actually have a decent team on paper. Like I feel like they have a better team on paper than the Bulls. Uh, Maybe even the Hawks now, just because of their injuries. Maybe the Heat, definitely the Nets. Probably not on paper as the 76ers, but I feel like the Raptors actually have a solid team on paper, but they're just maybe it's coaching. I don't know. The Hornets, LaMelo Ball snubbed for All Star. How does this happen? He was average. I know he's been injured, but look at his averages: 27, 7, and 5. He was a 30 points per game scorer for a while this season. He was like the fourth leading scorer in the NBA for a while this season as well. How does he not make the All Star game? He was first in the fan votes as well for East guards, so that would have made him a starter, and he didn't even make it. But yeah, he has been injured. Brandon Miller. They tried to trade Mark Williams to the Lakers for Dalton Connect. I actually like that move for both teams, but it ended up getting deferred because Mark Williams didn't pass his physical or something. Yeah, but I actually did like that move for both teams. I thought that was a rare win-win trade. But yeah, the Hornets have been really injured. The Hornets were my team that I was high on coming in. I thought they'd make the play, and I had them as the 10th seed in the East. That really backfired. They're nowhere near the play, and they probably won't be. And then the Wizards at the bottom. There's not much to talk about here. They moved Kyle Kuzma. Now it's Jordan Poole and Chris Middleton, who hasn't even played for them. I mean, they're just full tank mode, 9 and 45. Now moving on over to the more interesting of the two conferences, the West. Once again, absolutely loaded. You got 10 teams above 500. In the East, you have 6 teams above 500. Thought that was interesting. In the East, you also have 6 teams with a plus point differential. And in the West, you have 10 teams with a plus point differential. I guess that makes sense because, in the West, you got 10 teams with a winning record. You got 10 teams with plus point differential. That's not always the case. It doesn't always work out that way. But it is right now, which I guess is something to look at. But yeah, so starting off at the top, I mean, the Thunder, their defense is just ridiculous. Their offense is ridiculous. Shea's almost up to 33 points a game. He is likely going to win MVP. You could argue it should be Jokic, and I wouldn't disagree. I mean, Jokic has his team as third in the West right now. We'll talk about Jokic in a little, but he's averaging crazy stats right now. Chet Holmgren has missed pretty much the entire season. He's only played 13 games, and the Thunder are 44 and 10, tied for the best record in the league with the Cavs. Jalen Williams has had a very good season, 21 points a game. I mean, this team's just very healthy. Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, they play phenomenal defense. Caruso as well. They got a lot of guys who can shoot the three very well. I mean, this is just one of the best defenses of recent memory. I mean, this defense is absolutely ridiculous. They're holding opponents to 104 points a game. I mean, in this day and age, that is pretty ridiculous. So, yeah, the Thunder definitely probably the title favorite, I would say, as of right now. The Grizzlies, I feel like everyone's talking about the Cavs offense. The Grizzlies offense has been ridiculous. They're averaging 123 points a game. I I feel like nobody's talking about them, but the Grizzlies, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain. Let's not forget about the Grizzlies. I know they were bad last year because of all their injuries, but they're back and they're the 2 seed in the West. I don't hear anything about the Grizzlies, which is weird. But yeah, they're 36-18. You got give some. I'm giving some love to the Grizzlies. I feel like they're not being talked about enough. Yeah, the Nuggets now in an 8-game win streak. Let's look at Jokic. 30 points a game, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that he's putting up these numbers. By the way, Jamal Murray just had a 55-point game. Also didn't hear anything about that. I don't know what's going on with the media and the NBA. I feel like I'm not hearing about this stuff. I found that on my own when I was preparing for this video. He had a 55-point game the other night, and I didn't get usually I get a notification for a big game like that. Nothing. I didn't get a single thing. But yeah, the Nuggets 8-game win streak heading into the All-Star break is exactly where I've been trashing the Nuggets a little bit just because I've been saying it's only Jokic, nobody else is helping him, which is still kind of true. But I mean, Jokic is so good that does it even matter? I mean, they're a half game out of the 2 seed in the West right now. The Rockets as the 4 seed, they have been falling a little bit. It'll be good to get back into the swing of things. Um, they get a little bit of a break. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They have been struggling a little bit as of recently, but I will say their defense has been very solid this whole season. Uh, Jalen Green's been very good. Alfred Sengun, Fred VanVleet. This team just plays together. Amen Thompson, by the way, shout out to him. He's 14 points a game. He's been really good for them. Tari Eason. I mean, they just spread the ball around. They got a lot of guys. It's a deep team. I like their Rockets team. They're fun. The Lakers, obviously they bring in Luka. He hasn't really played a full game yet. He's kind of on a minutes restriction. He's only played 2 games with the Lakers as well. Yeah, no more Anthony Davis. We'll see how this affects them. I mean, trading for Mark Williams was a good move. Dalton Knecht has been very good, but they did desperately need a center, so they tried to bring in Mark Williams. It got, rejected, all that. I really like that move. If it would have went through, that would have actually made the Lakers, maybe pretty interesting. But now, they just signed Alex Len. I mean, I don't know. Their center position is just once again just not anything. It's bad. Let's be honest. It's bad. The Clippers, they're still winning games. This Clippers team is so interesting because on paper they probably don't even have the 10th best team in the West. They probably have, honestly, on paper they probably have like the 12th best team in the West. And you could argue if the Pelicans are healthy, but yeah, Norman Powell 24 points a game, James Harden 22 and 9. Kawhi Leonard's only played 15 games. They just brought in Ben Simmons, who actually looked really good in his Clippers debut. Can they rejuvenate Ben Simmons? We'll see what Ty Lue can do. He's a really good coach. I mean, he has him as the 6 seed right now. Yeah, shout out to the Clippers. Nobody expected this. I gotta update this logo. I keep forgetting. This is the old logo, which I'm not really a fan of the new logo, but I probably should update it. We're halfway through the season. The Timberwolves 31-25. They just beat the Thunder last night. Anthony Edwards is up to 28 points a game. It's looking like he's finally figured out how to be the number one option. It took him a little bit. He started off a little slow. He's averaging like 23. Now he's up to 27.5 technically, but I'll give him 28. Yeah, this Timberwolves team is. I think they're starting to figure things out a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Timberwolves finish as like 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there. The Timberwolves. I'm starting to get back on the Timberwolves train a little bit. The Mavericks. We know what happened with the Mavericks. I mean, no more Luka. They bring in AD. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anthony Davis in his one game he's played for them, 26 points a game. In the one game he's played for them, he dropped 26, 16, and 7. What a debut from him. Kyrie Irving is averaging 25 points a game. I mean, this team is still going to be good, I think. Max Christie's been really good. 17 a game in the 6 games he's played for them. PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, Daniel Gafford. This team, they still got a lot of pieces. Like the Mavericks are still going to be a good team. Don't that? I'm obviously not a fan of the Luka trade, clearly, but I mean, nobody. I don't think any Mavericks fan would be. But this Mavericks team's still good. I mean, this is like a really deep team. They got a lot of people. They run like a 10-man rotation. This team has a lot of guys who can play, which actually might come back to benefit them in the long run. The Kings, moving on from De'Aaron Fox, bringing in Levine. Now they're pretty much just the new version of the Bulls, except better because they have Sabonis instead of Vucevic. And Malik Monk, who you could argue is better than Kobe White. I would say even. Maybe give the edge to Kobe White just because I'm a Bulls fan. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of how this team fits. I mean, like I said, it's pretty much just the Bulls. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Kings. I wouldn't be shocked if they missed the plan. I wouldn't be shocked if they stayed, kind of in this 9-10 range. The Warriors bring in Jimmy Butler. Kuminga has been hurt. I feel like once Kuminga comes back, this team, the Warriors may be back. I just watched the Warriors play the other night in person, and Curry and Jimmy Butler look like a really. I mean, now that Curry doesn't have to get triple teamed every possession, he can really do something. I mean, in the game I watched, Curry had 34, Jimmy Butler had 25, and they came back from down. What was it, 22? I said. I mean, they got guys who can shoot too. Pods, Buddy Hield, that post guy, that their center. He had like 18. He was popping corner threes. It was very interesting. Gary Payton, Kevon Looney, who's only averaging 5 a game, but he's still there. Moses Moody has been solid. I think this Warriors team has the potential to move up in the standings. Just with the West being so loaded, it's hard to see. The Suns end up keeping KD, but it sounds like they're going to trade him this summer. Don't love that. Just internal stuff. It's never a good sign. We'll see what happens with the Suns, but yeah, I don't love that. You never like to see that. So we'll see if they can get it back into the plan. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they ended up not, just because of all the internal things. The Spurs have been struggling a bit as of recently. They bring in De'Aaron Fox. I'm interested to see how him and Wemby continue to develop and mesh with each other. But Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle averaging 13 a game as a rookie. He's been very good. Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Sohan. I actually really like the Spurs team. I'm surprised that they're not closer to the plan. I mean, they're only 3.5 games back. Definitely still in reach. The Trailblazers have been actually very hot as of recently. They went on like an 11-game win streak. Maybe not that much, but something crazy like that. They're 6-4 in their last 10 still. The Trailblazers have been playing very good recently. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to get in the plan just because, I mean, I feel like their roster just doesn't really compete with the other teams. The Jazz are bad. We know this. They're 13-41. And the Pelicans, very injured. They kind of remind me of the Grizzlies from last year, but worse. Because they had some big expectations coming in, and just nobody's played. We'll see what the Pelicans do with Zion. They already moved on from Brandon Ingram. We'll see what happens with Zion this offseason, but definitely intriguing. With that, all that drama. It's always interesting to see, what teams with all the rumors. There's plenty of rumors right now. So yeah, very very interested to see what route they end up taking this offseason. But now let's get into the part that everybody is waiting for, the playoff predictions. We talked for like 25 or 24 minutes about each team, so we're not going to go fully in depth. We're just going to kind of pick who we think. So in a one-game scenario, the Timberwolves versus the Mavericks, I don't believe AD would be playing right now. I believe he's injured. He just got injured. So he's missing the All-Star game. Kyrie Irving is actually taking his place, I believe. I'm going to take the Timberwolves. Like I said, I think I'm back on the Timberwolves train. Anthony Edwards has been playing so good as of recently. Like I said, the Timberwolves just beat the Thunder, who in my eyes are one of the best teams, maybe the best team in the league. So yeah, the Timberwolves, I'm back on the train. I'm going to take them in a one-game spot there. The Kings versus Warriors in a one-game scenario. I'm going to trust Steph Curry. I'm going to trust Jimmy Butler. Those two guys tend to turn it on in the playoffs. And then we got the Splash Brothers taking on each other head on. Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving. With no AD though, I'm going to go ahead and take the Warriors. I just trust them more in a one-game scenario. I'm going to take the Warriors to get to that 8 seed, but it could definitely go Mavericks. It could definitely go Kings. Kings will have the home court. That's never an easy place to play. But I am going to take the Warriors. Moving over to the East playing the Magic versus the Hawks. The Magic are finally getting healthy. I trust this defense. The Hawks are trending in the wrong direction. The Magic are trending in the right direction. Seems pretty clear here to take the Magic. Defense tends to win out versus offense. And the Magic have the second best defense in the league behind the Thunder. The Heat versus the Bulls. I would love to take the Bulls here. The Heat don't have Jimmy Butler anymore. But I think Tyler Hero, Bam are enough to get past the Bulls. And I think more importantly, Spoelstra is just a much better coach than Billy Donovan. And then with the Heat versus the Hawks, I know the Heat don't have Jimmy Butler anymore, but this is still a team that knows how to get done in the playoffs. And the Hawks, like I said, just no more DeAndre Hunter, no more Jalen Johnson. It's really just Trae Young. And no disrespect to the rest of the team. They still got guys over there, but I'm going to take the Heat. Tyler Hero's been amazing. Is this his first All-Star appearance? I think it might be. Yeah, shout out to him. He's been really good. The Thunder versus the Warriors. You never want to see Steph Curry in the playoffs, but I think with the amount of perimeter defenders that the Thunder have, with Lou Dort especially, and really everyone. I mean, this whole team plays phenomenal defense. I think they're good enough to beat the Warriors. I'm not too worried here. Obviously, you never want to play Steph Curry just because he is such a game wrecker. But I think the Thunder have the defensive tools to get it done. Could the Warriors win a game or two in the series? Yes, definitely. I could see the series going like 6 games at most, maybe 5. But I am going to give the edge to the Thunder. The Rockets versus the Lakers. Very interested here. This one would be a fun series. I'm going to trust the Lakers. I know. I feel like I'm always picking against the Rockets. They're so young. They lack the experience. The Lakers have LeBron and Luka. I think that's enough to get them past here. We'll see. I know they don't have a center, but I think LeBron and Luka, that's enough to get past the Rockets at least. The Nuggets versus Clippers. I think this one's pretty clear. I'm going to take the Nuggets. Jokic is just too much here. Jamal Murray, maybe he's figuring things out. He's struggled, but he just had 55, like I said the other night. So maybe he's back. We'll see. But yeah, I think Jokic is enough to just take the Nuggets past the Clippers. He can do most of the work here. The Grizzlies versus the Timberwolves. Like I've said, I'm kind of getting back on the Timberwolves train. I'm going to stick with the Grizzlies right now, but I actually did think about this. I think I would say the series would go 7. I'm going to take the Grizzlies just because their offense has been so good and they have a DPOY candidate in Jaren Jackson Jr. So they, have kind of the best of both worlds. I think they're a little more well-rounded and, just a little bit deeper. I think the Timberwolves' strength is their offense, and I would argue the Grizzlies have a better offense. So I'm going to take the Grizzlies. They also get the home court. I think, I'm slightly leaning towards the Grizzlies, but I actually really did consider taking the Timberwolves there. The Cavs versus Heat. Praised, the Heat always getting it done in the playoffs, but not against the Cavs. Not this year. The Cavs are just too good right now. I'll take the Cavs pretty easily there. The Pacers versus Bucks. Now, this is actually very interesting because, I don't really know which way I'm going to go here. I think if the Bucks had Giannis, I would probably take the Bucks. But with no Giannis, it's really only Dame. Kyle Kuzma's only played a couple games here. So, the Pacers have home court advantage. I'm actually going to go ahead and give the edge to the Pacers right now. I think this would be a very close series, but they're at home. Siakam's an all-star, and obviously Giannis being injured right now doesn't help the Bucks, so it's really just Dame right now. Still got Bobby Portis, still got Brook Lopez, all those guys. And, we'll see how the Kuzma thing goes. But as of right now, I'm going to take the Pacers. I just think they're right now a more complete team with no Giannis for the Bucks. Now, if the Bucks had Giannis, I'd probably take the Bucks. The Knicks versus Pistons. I love the Pistons. They're a fun young team. But with the Knicks offense, with the way Jalen Brunson and Cat are playing, both all-star starters, I'm going to take the Knicks here pretty easily. The Pistons just lacked experience. The Knicks were there last year as a 2 seed. I think the Knicks are a really good team. I'm going to take them pretty easily over the Pistons. The Celtics versus the Magic. I love the Magic's defense. I love their young core. I think they got a great future ahead of them. But as of right now, I think the Celtics are just built a little, too much. They're just too much. They have too many guys. They won it all last year for a reason. They're still a contender. I know they're the 2 seed, but don't count out the Celtics. They're still they might have better odds to win the title than the Cavs. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they did. The Celtics are really good. Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis is back healthy. All these guys, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Al Horford. This is just a really good team. Moving back to the West, the Thunder versus the Lakers. Now, the Thunder have kind of a tough stretch here, going against Curry, then taking on LeBron. I saw, who was it, Shannon Sharp say if the Lakers got the Thunder in the second round, the Lakers would win. I just can't see it with the Lakers centers, big man issues. Their front court is just so bad. I know that the Thunder don't have Chet Holmgren right now, but they have Isaiah Hartenstein, who's been very good. They have Jalen Williams. They have a lot of guys who can just really give the Lakers some problems. Not to mention SGA is almost up to 33 points a game. And Lou Dort is one of the best defenders. They also have Caruso. I mean, the defense here is just, I don't think the Lakers have enough. I know they have Luka and LeBron, but I don't think that's enough. Which is crazy. Just goes to show how good the Thunder are. I just don't think that's enough. With the front court is just terrible. So I'm going to take the Thunder here. I definitely disagree with, that take. The Nuggets versus the Grizzlies. This one I think would go all 7. I think this is a very close series. Both teams have very good offenses. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr. take on Nikola Jokic. Jaren Jackson Jr. versus Jokic would be very fun to see. I just think Jokic is too much. The Nuggets won it in 23. I think they get back to the Western Conference Finals as of right now. Now, the Timberwolves win. Maybe Anthony Edwards gets them in the second round again for a second year in a row. I don't think so. I think the Nuggets are playing too good right now. They're on an 8-game win streak. They are hot. You don't want to play the Nuggets right now. I think the Nuggets are too much right now. They're playing really good. They're only a half game back of the 2 seed right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they finish as the 2 seed. The Cavs versus the Pacers. I think the Pacers are very fun. I like their energy, high-paced or fast-paced, high-tempo. I'm going to take the Cavs, though. I feel like the Cavs just match up too well against the Pacers here. I mean, offensively, they're probably better than the Pacers, and that's the Pacers' strength. They just brought in DeAndre Hunter. I love that move. Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, one of the best defenders. Jared Allen, very good defender. And both those guys are, Evan Mobley especially, very good offensively as well. Not to mention Darius Garland, who's having a very under-the-radar season. He has been amazing. I just love this Cavs team right now. I'm going to take them pretty easily over the Pacers. The Knicks versus Celtics. I said last episode the Knicks are actually closing the gap here, and I think they are. I'm still going to take the Celtics, but the Knicks are very close. These top 3 teams in the East, definitely I feel like on a tier above, the rest of the East. These top 3 teams in the East are very, very close. I'm going to take the Celtics just because I think defensively they're much better, but Jalen Brunson and Cat, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, this Knicks team is very good. Don't sleep on the Knicks. Wouldn't be surprised if they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, but as of right now, I just trust the Celtics a little bit more. I mean, they're the defending champs for a reason, and they have the exact same team from last year. There's so many guys defensively. They shoot the 3 at a very high volume. They have the star power. They just have all the pieces. They have all the right guys. I'm gonna take the Celtics probably in 6 or 7 games. That's a very tough series. The Thunder versus the Nuggets. Now I actually did. Now this one made me think for a long while. Because you look at the Thunder, they go through the Warriors, who have Curry, Jimmy Butler, not an easy out. Curry's never an easy out. The Warriors, never an easy, team to beat. Then they go through LeBron and Luca. I'm thinking, does the defense kind of wear out? Going into the Western Conference Finals, now they have to play Jokic, who is better than. I'll be honest, he's better than Curry. He's better than Jimmy Butler. He's better than LeBron. He's better than Luca right now. He is. I don't think that's crazy to say. I think Jokic is probably the best player in the league. But the Thunder also have the MVP, it looks like, on their team, SGA. And they've given me no reason to assume that their defense would wear out because they play the same every night. They play so physical, so they hustle. I'm going to take the Thunder. This is the most I've ever considered it, though, just because of the Thunder, the matchup. Um, Jokic is definitely an issue, especially with no Chet Holmgren. But you gotta admit, Thunder or the Nuggets, they lack the depth behind Jokic. I think it's going to come back to bite him. I don't see them winning at all. Well, I could see them winning it all, but I just the depth worries me. I feel like I can't pick them. So I'm going to take the Thunder just off of depth and defense. I think they have enough, but I think this series could go 7 games. I think this is going to be a very tight, very, very high level of basketball in the Western Conference Finals. Same thing with the East. The Cavs versus Celtics. You could argue. Now, actually, I don't know if you could argue this, but you could definitely argue that these two teams are both top three in the league. I was going to say you could argue top two, but I don't think you could really argue that the Thunder are not top two in the league right now. But you could argue the Cavs and the Celtics are 2 and 3. I mean, these two teams are as close as they can get. The Celtics have 2 All-Stars. I think the Cavs have 3. Both these teams defend very well. Both these teams score very well. The Cavs are having an historically good offensive season with Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, all those guys. I keep going back and forth on this. I keep switching it. I don't know who I'm going to end up taking when it's time to make these playoff predictions. As of right now, I'm going to take the Celtics. They won it all last year. I feel like I got to give them some respect. I mean, I've just seen them do it. I feel like if I see the Cavs do it, I'd feel a lot better. Like if I knew the Cavs made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. But I don't know. We'll see. I think this would go all 7 games for sure, though. The Cavs have been amazing. But yeah, that one's maybe even tougher to pick than the Western Conference Finals. So in the finals, I think this is what I picked last time. I've been picking Thunder versus Cavs, but I think last episode I picked this. This was actually my preseason NBA Finals, and it's looking pretty solid right now. The Thunder versus the Celtics. Who do I think would win? I think this would be a back and forth series. The defending champs versus the new up and coming young team. The Thunder. I will say the Thunder are a very young team. Could that come back to bite them? I said that last year. They were the 1 seed. I didn't think they could win just because they're experienced, but now they have some playoff experience. This is very tough. I'm gonna say the Thunder get it done. I've been picking the Thunder since the preseason. The Thunder were my preseason team to win, and I'm sticking by them. The defense is just historically good, especially in this era where offense is just so important. This defense is holding teams to barely over 100 points a game. And I think defensively they're better than the Celtics. I think offensively they're maybe even better as well. I mean, SGA is better than anyone the Celtics have, and I mean, I don't know. I think if you told me the Celtics would win this series, I wouldn't, act like that's crazy. I think the Celtics are definitely capable of repeating, but again, repeating, back-to-back champion, it's very hard to do. And I feel like the Celtics, I don't know. I mean, they definitely have enough because they didn't lose anyone from last year, but I feel like this year, it's the Thunder's year. They're tied for the best record in the league. They have the best defense in the league. They have a top 5 offense. They have maybe the MVP on their team. I mean, just off of all of that, and they're very deep. Once they get Chet Holmgren back, I'll feel even better about this because they're going to be even deeper. But yeah, I'm sticking by the Thunder. They're going to be my pick to win the NBA Finals right now. But that's going to do it for episode 9. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, listening to me talk about all 30 NBA teams, talk about my playoff predictions. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. Turn on the noties to make sure you don't miss whenever we post. We do college basketball, college football, NFL, NBA, and MLB. So if any of that interests you, make sure you subscribe. Tons of different content. We do college football and college basketball rankings every week when those seasons are going. We do NFL weekly picks, predict every game in the NFL season. And then we kind of do a similar thing with the MLB to NBA Playoff Watch. It's called MLB All Around. That will be starting up very soon, and March is coming. You know what that means for college basketball. I'm predicting every conference tournament, as well as making my March Madness predictions, obviously going full in depth. It's a very exciting time to be on the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. Like this video. We're trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, so if you could help us out, that'd be greatly appreciated. But thank you so much for watching. And yeah, enjoy the All-Star break. We'll see how the new format goes. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I kind of want to see it before I get my full thoughts. But yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching.